The voice in my head is like a happy-go-lucky psychopath. He like literally all his eggs in one basket, and he just throws the dice around, and he's just like, oh please, I'm gonna get it. He's just like so on cocaine, it's not even funny. Like imagine going to someone that's with someone that is so flippin' high to Vegas. Fuck you. Just like betting on his luck. Like, that's what the voice in my head sounds like. Like he just snorted so much cocaine. Apparently, it is not, what was I gonna say? I am not as encouraging as the women that he is used to, clearly. And it's throwing him off. He was on a high and now he's not. Because he doesn't like Debbie Downer, okay, way too focused on probabilities. Debbie Downer, the probability stats freak. Chances are he's not gonna make it. He knows it as well as I do now. Oh, by the way, okay, so, once the voices and I'm crazy, and I don't care how crazy I am. Once the voices in my head and I look crazy, I'm at the office, and ever since this schizophrenia hit, I swear it's like night and day. I actually aged like 10 years. In a year, just like, there's no way. Anyways, what was I saying? So we established that he's real, and he is in agreement with me. He's real. I mean, not real, but he's, I think he is real, but he's established that that he's convinced me he's real. Fuck you. And now we're in agreement. I agree that I think what I hear is a psychopath terrorist using a telepathy weapon. I'm not arguing. That's what I hear. Now, because of my stupid expectations of what sounds like a man, okay, they're set on him being one and leaving me alone. And then he goes and he disappoints me. And how he does that is by making me dizzy, abusing me more, causing all of the circles around my eyes, causing me to cry, aging me every day, making my hair fall out. And what it sounds like is a bunch of terrorists that have been found out. They're getting sentenced to death. They don't want anyone at all that is being abused using this telepathy weapon to go and get medical attention for what they hear in their head or from what they hear in their head. And they don't want the people that hear anything in their head to call local law enforcement if, God forbid, someone were to take advantage of them under the circumstances and take advantage of their disability, or them with considering that they're disabled and intentionally taking advantage, or not, both of which they don't want you to acknowledge, because all the voice in my head keeps saying is, hey, we're the ones who hacked into so-and-so's head, and that's why he or she is disrespecting you or taking advantage of you. And they disrespecting you, and the quotes are, that is verbatim what he said, what the piece of shit I hear in my head says. He keeps saying he's from my country, Egypt. He speaks the same dialect of Arabic. I hear him in my head. He keeps saying he's from a particular group, which is interesting because I think it's such a scapegoat, which means there must be more innocent people of his whatever category group he's claiming to be from. And all day he's talking, and him and like several others, all between like 40, 35, 30, maybe even 20s and older. Okay, all day long. And I'm like, if you're using a telepathy weapon and you have to talk, and then one of the women's voices, oh, by the way, I'm dizzy now. I want you to know. But one of the women's voices was like, I'm just going to let out all, this was when I first started hearing the voices. She was like, I'm going to confess, or time to let out all my, let out everything on my conscience. Right? That's what she said. Time to let out everything on my conscience. Time to let out everything on my conscience. That's what one of the women's voices said. And from that point on, she's called her and the women's voices keep calling me a stupid effing bitch, a whore, a piece of shit. They've said your hair is going to fall out till it's thin as a thread, which I promise you, bald spots everywhere. Has said, I'm going to make her skin thin. I'm going to age her. She's going to have bags, or she's going to have dark circles. And then I'm going to scratch her or like scar her, and then I'm gonna pour salt into that open wound until she finds her way to alternative medications to relieve her from her pain. Now, mind you, I have 2 kids. I don't do drugs, I don't drink, and I don't smoke. And there's no way in hell you'll ever catch me doing, because I don't do it, period. I don't entertain it. I don't entertain people that do it. I don't respect people that do it, and I don't care who knows it. And so that's what the woman's voice kept saying. And it was like, and this was in a dream I had, and it was a very vivid dream of like a goblin. Okay, and she was this pretty woman, and she just kept getting scarred, and she would just drink herself to like her old age and her miserable self. That is the women voices I hear in my head. Who, oh, by the way, their kids and them, the women that are there are more important than me and my kids, mind you. That's what they keep saying. And when the men start to feel like they're abusing a woman and they start to feel bad, the women will sit there and pick me apart till I say, I want you guys sentenced to death or I want you to die. And it hypes the men up. And then they start what feels like abusing me using this telepathy weapon or using a telepathy weapon. I don't know if that's even possible. I'm not intelligent enough to know if it's possible. But that's what they're saying. And it definitely feels as though there is some type of technology that is sophisticated enough to communicate with human beings telepathically. I mean, to sit behind a computer and to sit and talk into a microphone, and each human being being assigned, I can go on and this is going to cut off, assigned an algorithm, like a serial code for your like baseline algorithm, and then to track you, trace you, and be able to communicate with you in your head so that no one in your surroundings can hear you or hear them. And that's honest to God what it sounds like. And I sit here and I'm like, okay, so these women are in a house and they're trying to get innocent people to turn on each other, hurt each other, and then while they're sitting at home watching and playing these dirty little fucking games. So with that said, God, I lost my train of thought. There is so much to say about how disgusting the women are that I can't even begin and make sense while I'm doing it, because it's so much. What I've heard is for the past 6 years, to explain every single detail, it would take me ages to write a book. It would take me ages to straighten out my thoughts. It would take me ages to make sense of how these could possibly be women that you can respect and not sentenced to death. Fuck you. I'm done. I promise to God, if ever come the day that I find out that this is actually a telepathy weapon, I'm sentencing those women to death. I promise to God. That's how I really feel. That is exactly how I feel about my schizophrenia. And I take my meds. It does not work. I've tried it. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to take it. I'm going to take it and make it clear. I don't feel suicidal. I don't feel tired. What makes me tired is the voices tipping me up every single night. I don't feel, it's like, I genuinely believe it is what it is. However, I don't have proof. How can I identify a signal no one believes is around? No one is intelligent enough to find. And I would assume that that's because that's what they mean by classified. All governments have classified weapons, mind you. So don't just jump on the United States sucks, because it doesn't. Far from it. This is the best country in the goddamn world. But my issue is that this is what I think is a classified weapon, and the public hasn't come to up to speed to detect these type of signals. That's what I believe. That is what I truly believe. And these classified weapons are dangerous. And if they're ever in the hands of